unexplainable, strange phenomenon appearing on the side of this mesa.
The whole mesa's lit
The
up.
whole mesa's lit up. You see it on camera?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
The whole thing's lit up. It's like an iridescent glow. And gone.
Oh, there were shadows going across it.
What?
Yeah.
What happens is at sunrise and sunset, there is the solar rays from the cosmos itself that line up with the electromagnetic field ley lines of the Earth. And these ley lines of the Earth land on specific X points or nodes that have throughout the last known history of humankind been utilized as nodes of energy for amplification for consciousness, for ritual practices, and for basically transcending through that electromagnetic field into ancestral memories, into future predictions, basically Wi-Fi to call up the deceased loved ones and to tap into visions of the past and the future in parallel dimensions. And there are other entities that actually exist along in those frequencies and wavelengths that understand the science of how all these places work.
There is a connection between the paranormal, UFOs, and the myths of ancient history. The clues are scattered across the landscape from a forbidden past, maybe even in your own backyard. There is a connection between the true nature of our reality, consciousness, and the unexplained. I'm Carl the Crusher. Let's explore the unknown.
Hey everybody, welcome back. You're here on Carl Crusher. Welcome to the Crusher Crew. If you want to be an official part of the Inner Circle and Crusher Crew, make sure and go join the Patreon page. If you join as a member of the Inner Circle, then not only do you help fund the scientific research project that we're doing with the Modular Unidentified Phenomena Alert System study, you can scale all the way up and support that, or even order your own sensor to capture paranormal evidence in your home. But you also get access to my data in my house if I have the hitchhiker phenomena from visiting like a haunted place. If a poltergeist or apparition or paranormal things follow me home and its effects, you can see the data through that website and through the sensor. So make sure and check that out. And as always, subscribe, turn on notifications so that you can follow what we're doing here. If you haven't seen part 1, please go back and watch it, where we went into depth a lot more about the theories and the philosophies, and not only that, the scientific evidence and research historically that's been going on for decades that involves these ancient indigenous canyons where these petroglyphs are, that seem to have this vast international network of symbolism and also some kind of a deeper hidden meaning that has to do with consciousness and the nature of reality. So go watch part 1 if you haven't seen it yet. Go down the rabbit hole and then come back here. And if you haven't seen any of the other episodes about the mystery at Magic Mesa, there's a whole playlist with a couple of dozen episodes you can go back and watch as part of an entire series of videos. So make sure and go check it all out, catch up on what's going on. A lot of crazy stuff, from UFOs to paranormal activity to ancient petroglyphs and beyond. So we're up here at the top of this canyon at the Magic Mesa, and now we're looking for evidence of what could be what that lady was talking about, the this cave entrance that could be the Holy of Holies, or that's what she called it anyways, the Holy of Holies. But also, this is the farthest up I've been on this side of the trail. Because of the wind, there's no bees. Last time that I came up here, I got swarmed by little sand bees that stung me like crazy. Today we're doing pretty good. I haven't even seen any petroglyphs up this far yet, but there is something up here. Looks like a seating area or something's marked off, so let's go check it out. There is a significant amount of petroglyphs on the lower part of this hike, halfway up the cliff wall, but we have been finding several of them scattered along even the top of the ridge up here. But I like to hike up and explore along these hikes where a lot of local people don't go. Most people just stick to the road in the valley down below, and a lot of them don't even look up to notice the ancient carvings. So I like to go a little bit beyond that, poke around, explore around, and follow my intuition and see where it guides me and see what we find. Still haven't seen any more petroglyphs all the way up here, although I know there is a ton of them farther up. I'm sure scattered around down below there could be more. I know I have hiked on the trail down in the valley below there. Looks like this is just a crossover spot for bikes and people to go, so you can ride your mountain bike up here and ride right over this and then follow the trail. We'll keep going this way, and then tonight we got to bust out the night vision and check all this out. Hey, look at that. Wow. There's more down below me. Hang on, I gotta come around on the other side here. I think I'm missing some. Looks like something big down in there. Oh yeah, see, this is what we were just talking about. Wow, look, this one looks big. Look at this. Definitely. It's like a bighorn sheep or a goat. That's beautiful. It's got the ear, the long horns. It's got 2 ears. Look at the way the shadow crests across it. Like they climb down inside this crack right here and carve that. And then we come up here and we see this other one right up there. Look at that. Wow. Beautiful, like a blanket pattern. Steps like a ladder going up. There must be carvings all around. Look at this giant split rock right there. There might be a bunch right around it too. If we had the energy to crawl all the way down and look around there, we would do it. But pretty cool. I've never seen that before. We've made it. We're basically up at the top of the trail, where depending on which end of this trail that you park, you're going to wind up at the peak up here at the top. Just look at how far and how vast that valley is down below. Endless. It's so beautiful. This goes all the way over into Nevada, technically straight over the mountains that way. If you go far enough, you run into Area 51 right over there, right? It's all in this longitudinal line. But here's a cool story I'll tell you guys. We'll hike up a little bit farther. So in this mountain range to the southwest of me here, across this valley, there is a story that the leader of the northern Paiute, which could have been Wovoka. Wovoka was the ghost dance shaman of the northern Paiute who lived in Nevada. So there was a chief among the Paiute that was living on the borders here, maybe even up in this canyon, and he called for a meeting with his cousins of the Ute tribe. So you got the Paiute and the Utes, right? And the Ute tribe were coming from up there to the north, from the Uinta Basin where Skinwalker Ranch is. And the leader of the Ute tribe came down to meet with the Paiute chief down here. And the story is that after they traded, shared in ceremonies and rituals together, that the Paiute chief took the Ute leader into a cave. And the legend goes that the cave entrance was small enough that you had to get down on your belly and crawl through like a snake. So it was so small, you had to just squeeze through the entrance. But once you got in there, it opened up into an antechamber, and there was 3 caves going. And the Paiute elder, he explained to the Ute elder that in one of those caves, if you took the right path, was literally all of Montezuma's treasure. King Montezuma, or whoever of the Aztec Empire, all of that gold, there was supposedly a huge cache of that was stored in the legend of the three caves right up here that follows the borders of the Virgin River as it goes out of Utah into Nevada. So basically right out there is that whole legend of where that took place. But I think even more fascinating than legends of buried gold is the legends of the ancient spirits, the ancestral memory that dwells and lives in this canyon that you can tap into and you come up here, witness and see for yourself at night, as far as paranormal, supernatural phenomena that appears on the mountainside and down in the valley and even up in the sky in the form of UAP and UFOs. I think we've reached the top of this trail. It's just literally a bike path going all the way up and over to another spot that I'm already familiar with that has other petroglyphs. We also need to come back and look around over on the other edge and off the edge to look for one of those cave entrances. Like I said in the last video, there's some kind of a cave or an entrance to what this lady referred to as the Holy of Holies, or like an inner sanctum. Like there's a sacred cave or a room along the ridge here, but I don't know where it is, and I don't think it's on top because a lot of people ride their bikes and go jogging up here, and I think they would have seen it if it was pretty obvious. So anyway, I think it's time now that we've reached the top. Let's double back on our path. We'll head back down, see if we see any more petroglyphs on the way back to the truck. And then what we're gonna do is loop down over there and park where the Magic Mesa actually is. We're gonna get the night vision out and we're gonna put some of this to the test. Is there longitudinal coherence with human consciousness and the electromagnetic field of the earth right when the sun is setting? Is there some kind of a cosmic energy that comes from the alignment of the solar? Sorry, my audio just cut out there. Is there some kind of a longitudinal coherence that can be achieved by sitting and pointing consciousness in the golden ratio with perfect intentions towards the stone circle in the bottom of the valley and on top of the mesa? Can we achieve that coherence between consciousness and the universe that opens up these gateways, that opens up the portals to achieve the ancestral memory? And does that explain what's been happening to me and some of you when we go and visit these ancient indigenous sites? I think so. I really think it is. But the question is, how do we prove it? How do we share it with other people? How do we capture the evidence and get it on camera now that we have a little bit more of the understanding of plasma physics and science and ancient indigenous history and how it all fits together into this puzzle of who we are and what reality actually is? So let's make our way back down. I'm gonna check along this ridge here, see if there's anything we're missing. And then we're gonna go set up for our night watch with the night vision camera. And we're gonna try and capture evidence of plasma entities, plasma life forms coming out of the ground and communicating with us through the earth itself, through the electromagnetic field of the earth in this ancient canyon that I believe is a sacred node on the ley lines of the earth. So let's go get ready. I am so happy that I followed my intuition, because I almost just thought, man, let's just get back down to the truck, get a drink of coffee, we're gonna reset, maybe we'll go into town and get some dinner, and then we'll come back and do the night investigation. Something inside of me was like, walk along the ridge, walk along the ridge. So I came over here to walk right along the ridge. This is the very point of the canyon. So this is where you can see this mountain over here peaks off. Everything converges And when we're talking about these longitudinal arrays and getting in alignment, holy smokes, right up here hidden over this fold in the rocks is a whole panel. This looks like a figure upside down with his arms and legs out like he's flying up in the sky. There's big footprints right next to it. And then there's even a spiral on the rock. So here, check this out. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. This is cool. I had no idea this was up here. Definitely have a spiral counterclockwise this way. So this is like going back in time. The head right here. It almost looks like there's a carving coming off that way, but it could be the wear and the weathering. But here we have another spiral. A little marker, glyph indicator. And then this is what I was talking about. See this? I'm going to be really careful where I step here. Look at that. Wow. It's almost like whoever drew it was sitting on top facing perfectly north. So that would be straight north. And it's almost like they were sitting on top facing this way. But look at this symbol here with the three fingers going out, the legs going up, the 3 fingers, and then this going, I don't know, is this which way is up or down? And then look at, here's these footprints. Look at this. Wow. Footprints right here. There's a 3-toed print there. And then these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Look at the square heel. Look at the shape of the footprint. How cool is that? And then obviously, this is a seat. This is a seat. You're supposed to sit there with your feet here, with your back off the ledge. And then you look right at the North Star, the spiraling of the North Star, the Big Dipper going, Ursa Major going around the Big Dipper. So this was probably a shaman viewing point where they sat with their feet right there facing that way. So I'm sitting facing the opposite direction. But I don't want to climb out there. Look at that. Maybe we'll come over here to the side and just look, but see? It's just like a chair with feet, like to sit and tap in. And then yeah, straight ahead of you here, here's your feet, straight ahead, comes over, ding, there's the spiral. Spiral's in perfect alignment with the feet. See that? Wow. Definitely unraveling time. So looking into the past, shaman seat, sitting there with your feet, watching the Big Dipper spiral around the North Star. Holy smokes. And then you basically, I'm going to get really low to the ground. So you'd sit here, feet there, right over the edge of the rock there is that spiral, and you meditate and witness. This is that longitudinal reverse collapsing of the waveform where you have perfect synchronicity of the consciousness between yourself and the universe, grounded right through the stones, through geomancy. Wow. Look at how worn it is too. Obviously this is like a pocket from water, but this is literally like a shaman seat for sitting here, feet here, grounded into the stone. And then you're supposed to look up. There's the spiral in direct alignment. And if we go down on that ridge, it's the same thing. There's all these spirals, time travel spirals, in conjunction with the North Star and the rotation of the Big Dipper going around. That was the wheel of time. This is freaking cool, guys. Whoa! We literally found a whole meditation spot, a shaman seat, in order to interface. And look at where it is, right at the edge of the canyon. I'm gonna get some pictures of this, and then we'll see what else we can find. This is just unreal. I mean, this is just unbelievably obvious that that was a spot to sit. That was a spot to sit and put your feet and look directly north to observe the spiral. That is as obvious as it gets. You can see the seat, you can see the symbol of transformation. You look over to the left, you see the foot of the bird shaman next to you. You see the bird shaman up above you. Like, you look down to your left and look over to your right, and there's these other symbols of transcendence, and you're sitting right there on the seat. You might even put your hands in the bird shaman hands, and your left hand there and your right hand there on these different symbols to interface while you sit there with your feet and toes in the rocks. And then here is that conduit of the longitudinal waveform coherence going from the North Star and the Big Dipper directly. Look at that, straight alignment. I bet if you came here, and I'm going to try and do a screen recording with the compass and see if this thing actually points true north. Or maybe it would tell us a timeline of where north used to be before some kind of a pole shift, depending on how old these are, right? Well, look at that. That is clearly a counterclockwise serpent line that has to do with the Big Dipper and the North Star rotating directly north right there. And this is clearly a shaman seat where you're supposed to sit and observe that, or take in the download of information from there, from this boulder. It also makes me wonder if we walked along true north along this path, if that's where the Holy of Holies is, somewhere like a pocket hidden in the middle of the mesa. I just verified it to make sure, and it is 100% dead on the money, facing true north. If you sat right there in the seat, put your feet on those feet, and looked exactly towards this glyph, you are going to be facing exactly at the rotation of the Big Dipper around the North Star, perfectly north. This is all that sacred alignment with the ley lines and the geomancy. This is intentionally a shaman seat where you're supposed to sit and look directly north to have ancestral visions of the past, the ancestral memory that lives here in this node of the electromagnetic field of the earth is actually a physical conduit here in this canyon where indigenous people were communicating with the spirits of their ancestors. And that is the evidence right there of where and how they were doing it. Facing exactly north, sitting there barefoot, feet on the rocks. It doesn't get any cooler than that. That's obvious. All of the petroglyphs, every single panel of petroglyphs, all the way up this entire canyon, all the way around the Magic Mesa, all the way down, even the spectacular summer solstice event that occurs when the sun comes up right on the summer solstice and tells the entire story of transcendence, tells that story about coming here and interfacing with these spirals and then transforming from going from becoming a regular villager and ascending up and becoming literally like the gods or like the ascended masters before you. So such a cool place, such a cool experience. And the fact that we get to come up here and now we're going to go down, hike our way back down. I can't believe that we found that. I'm so glad I listened to my intuition and we went over there and checked the ridge, because that is such an obvious spot to sit and look exactly north. Perfect alignment, undeniable. So we're going to head down there. We're going to head down where these other spots are, get our gear together, get our night vision, and see. So like the question is, we could talk about all this stuff like it's a theory, or we can go out and do it. We could do the meditations and we can see if there is living plasma entities, if there is actual paranormal phenomena, is there an overlap between these ancient nodes on the ley lines, these sacred canyons, and our perceptions of reality? Can we merge dimensions and perceive beyond our normal capabilities, or can they come to us? So the connection is going to be whether or not we can get coherence between the meditation of, this is like what Stephen Greer is talking about with all his CE5. His contact modality is all about pointing consciousness exactly like that towards the stars, just like we saw in those petroglyphs, syncing with the earth, and then having coherence between the brain waves of the plasma within your brain and consciousness, and having it expand off of those synapses into the higher array of the universe or the solar system, where the phenomena is, communicating with telepathy, connecting into their Wi-Fi signal, and making contact. This is how we're going to do it. This is why I'm going to be going back out to North Carolina, collaborating with Chris Bledsoe. This is why I've been working parallel and side component to the Beyond Skinwalker Ranch team. And this is where it's all headed, for disclosure, unifying the ancient wisdom that the Indigenous people knew and were utilizing, and realizing where we have gone wrong as a humanity with our technology, with the weaponization, and with our pharmaceuticals and infrastructure, even down to the way that we build our buildings and how we use our technology, is stripping us away from our access to cohesion with the longitudinal wisdom of Gaia, of the earth, of the actual natural bloodstream of our ancestors that flows through the universe. So anyway, I think it's a big part of my life purpose and what we're all doing here, and obviously why you're here watching and found me, so that we can bring awareness back to this stuff. So a lot of hiking and talking in last episode and this one. So let's get back to the truck and get ready for our night investigation with all the night vision. But hopefully you've enjoyed some of these theoretical, philosophical conversations about what all this is, because this is what we would be talking about if you were here hiking alongside me, and if we were walking along with all my colleagues like Chris Bartle, Chris Lado, Skinwalker Ranch team guys. This is all the stuff that we talk about anyway, so it's kind of cool to be able to share it with all of you. So all right, let's get back to the truck, get set up for nightfall.
There's a very vivid square. You see it? There it is, flashing on and off. Clearly like a vertical doorway up the side of the mountain. Something just moved across. Now the whole mesa is kind of glowing. We turn around and look. No cars. There's nothing. Not even a single car on the road anywhere, all the way up to the north. See? I tricked it. I pretended like I was going to put my camera away, and now look at it. It's like a big square. See? The whole front of the mesa. Whoop, and now it's off.